Hey friends, it is time to get the rescue wagon ready for the camping season. Let's do it.
Today, we're going to share with you some of the things that we do and some of the things that you might need to do to get your cargo camper ready for the camping season.
So we have a whole entire series of how we did this cargo camper. We did one that was 6x10, and we've done this one that is 5x8 that we're about to get ready for this season today. So if you're interested in watching any of those videos and seeing all of the things that we did and how we did it, you can head on over to our YouTube channel and click on the playlist for this one that says 5x8 cargo camper conversion, and then we have a 6x10 cargo camper conversion as well.
Okay, as you look at the rescue wagon, you might be saying, well, why do they have the tarp on top of it and all that? It's a fairly new camper. Do they really need to worry about that kind of stuff? Well, if you watch the other videos, you've seen that we have some solar panels on top. And when we park it over here at my daughter's house, she's got a ton of trees that have acorns. And when those acorns come off these 100-foot trees, they're like little missiles flying down. And we didn't want the solar panels to possibly get cracked. They're the flexible ones, but we just weren't sure, so we thought we're gonna go ahead and cover it up with a tarp.
So it's time for us to first go ahead and get the rescue wagon pulled out of the woods. All right, so now that we have the rescue wagon out of the woods, we're now ready to go ahead and do the first thing on our list. First thing on our list is to go ahead and take off the tarp off the top and inspect the roof, making sure we don't have any leaks, check the solar panels, make sure everything is in good working condition.
I had just refinished the solar panel part of this solar light just before the end of the season, and it was not covered, and now it's just completely crusty again, which makes me think that it's going to be important to cover the solar panels on top all the time whenever we're not using it, as well as having some type of cover that I create that goes over these when we're not using them. Otherwise, it just seems like it's not going to be a good thing. And the one thing I hope is that the solar panels on top are not as cheap as these with this situation and other things, because, you know, solar works really, really well, but it's no fun if it's just sitting out and the sun's going to destroy it the entire time.
So now that we know that the roof is good, now the second thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open up the cargo camper, and we are going to check inside for any leaks, anything that might stink, or anything else that's maybe going wrong since we have had it stored.
All right, so far in the front, there was no stinkage when we opened it, which is good. Everything appears to be in good shape, so we're gonna get this stuff unloaded and we're gonna find out.
All right, now for the moment of truth. Let's get some electricity in here. We've got some light. Let's even open up the curtains a little. I wanna make sure I don't find any spiders or anything in here. Now, you'll notice the AC has like some special tape on it, and that's because this blows so hard on our head that we have icicle heads. So we put this on here so it kind of directs the air away from us, and we have a little bit of, well, let's just try it. Seems to be working. I'm gonna leave it on for a little bit and just make sure that nothing goes awry.
We're gonna go ahead and get everything out that doesn't need to stay in the rescue wagon right now, so we can go ahead and start cleaning the inside and do all the things we need to do inside. But before we can do that, we gotta get stuff out. And I've noticed already, we put in a new screen. We forgot to cut it.
Here.
All right, everything inside is nice
It smells great. There's no problems, no leaks. All right, the fourth thing on our list is going to be to clean the interior, and it's pretty clean in here already. We're just gonna go through and make sure everything is clean and we are ready to go.
All right, so everything is clean on the inside and we are ready to go to the next item on our list. Okay, so the next thing I'm doing is going around looking for anything that obvious like rust or different things on the exterior before we wash it. So when I come over to like the gas can holders, I can see we've got a little bit of rust here in different places, so I'm going to need to take a wire brush to that and touch that up with some paint. Inside over here as well, you can see there's some rust up in here. The little solar lights I've noticed are clouded back over again, which just really aggravates me because I just fixed them. So I'll polish those up again, and I'm going to have to put something to cover that next year. Anytime we're not using it, it's going to have to stay covered. Looks like I need to touch up my red cans. As you go down the road, they vibrate and they lose it anyway. This little piece right here, only place on the camper that rusts, and it's not even rusted on the backside. I don't know what's going on, so I'm going to order a new piece and just replace this little piece here. And if I can't get it to fit correctly, I'll take this off, I'll wire brush it, and then I'll actually just paint it flat black. We got some rust up here where I hit this every time I try to crank it. This needs a little bit of a touch up as well. All of those pieces we want to get taken care of before the season. If we do it when we take it out and when we put stuff away in the fall, keep stuff clean, it just makes for easier use when you want to do it. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick look underneath the camper too, see if there's any rusty spots under there. Everything looks pretty good. There's a little dirty down here, but I finished it up at the end of last season. Everything looks good, so I'm going to wait till the end of the season and check it again, and then if we need to, we will touch it up then, but right now it looks good. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to paint our red tanks, just get those touched up. So what I'm going to do, there's a slight breeze out today, so I'm going to kind of go over to this area, bring some cardboard with me. I've got my tank sitting over here. I'm just kind of setting this up to catch any overspray. Then I'm going to take a little bit of 91% alcohol, just give it a quick wipe down. You can also use acetone for this too. Just get any kind of grease or anything that might keep it from adhering the paint, any dirt or grease, that kind of stuff. I'm in a little bit of a hurry, so I'm not going to go get some tape and mask these little tank controls off. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap some plastic around them, basically from getting on there, kind of tuck it in. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to touch up a little bit of the paint. And anytime you're touching up paint, this is the way it works on everything. I got my alcohol rag. I've also got a drill with a little kind of a wiry brush, or you can use a wire brush. Sometimes I like to use this little plastic one better. A little bit of rust here from where I've hit this on there several times, so I'm just going to take the drill, just remove that rust real quick. Once we've got the majority off, we're going to just clean it up and wipe it with alcohol. Then anytime you're spraying next to the unit here, you want to be real careful and you want to make sure that you are masking off the area. So we've got a little bit of cardboard here we're going to put in here. We're going to use this kind of as well to make sure we don't get any overspray. It's the end of the world. I redid these last year and I'm heavily disappointed with the amount of oxidation that has occurred on this. So I'm going to attempt to take that off again. First thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to clean it with some alcohol just to get any debris that's on the outside off. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use a kit by Mothers to basically polish this back up and reseal it. But next year, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little piece of Velcro in here with a little flap. So when it's stored, it doesn't sit in the sun, because that is highly aggravating. All right, so I've got limited tools here for some reason, and I don't have a spray bottle, so I'm going to wet this with some water. And then I'm also going to wet my sanding disc with some water, and I'm going to continue to keep it wet as I go along. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it on the low setting, and I'm going to start sanding. Okay, so less than a minute of sanding. And that way, because this is designed for headlights that have extreme stuff, it actually goes through it pretty quick. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to a 1500 disc, which is to polish it up a little bit more. Again, I'm going to use my water on here, and make sure I keep it wet while I'm doing it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put we're going to put the buffer ball on, and we're going to use a little bit of this plastic polish, but we're going to be careful because I don't have a bunch of I don't have any masking tape, and normally I would mask this off while I'm doing the polish stuff, especially because you don't want to just spray around. Also, I've used a slower setting on my drill just because, again, I'm limited on my material, so I'm just going to put a little bit of this polish on here, well, a very small amount, and massage it into the ball first just to make sure it doesn't spray around. All right, so just a little bit of polish, very small amount, back and forth. It is very nice. It's like brand. I should have used this one last time when I did it. The next thing I'm gonna do, I've got my air compressor fired up and getting aired up so we can check the air pressure and get the air pressure in the tires correct. But the next thing we're gonna do is check the torque on the lug nuts, which we keep at about 120. And the importance of that is when you're pulling anything, air pressure in the tires, all of that stuff, the lug nuts, if a wheel comes off, if a wheel blows out, you can put yourself in a really bad situation very quickly. The tires on your vehicles and on your trailers are the most important things. Really no more than 4 years, even though they're super expensive. That's really what I would recommend. All right, so the next thing is tire pressure. I keep my tires at about 35 PSI.
So we are on the final stretch now. We are on the last thing on our list, which is to clean the outside. So we are going to get finished up and give the outside a great big bath. I don't know if that probably... We have everything finished on our checklist and we are ready to officially start the camping season in our cargo camper. Thanks for watching. And if you found this video to be helpful, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.
And you can also check out our website at www.befreebenson.com.
As always, doing things yourself saves you money and allows you to
be free. See you in the next project.